Hello, New Stoics. This is Tim, and today we are going to touch on an idea that pops up in religion a lot. Doesn't really pop up in philosophy, maybe in some circles, but in Stoicism, there is not really a clear concept of forgiveness. I think we would root it in many of the Stoic virtues or ideas. So we base it on justice. We would base it on understanding that we can't control things that are outside of our power. So obviously apologizing for the rain or apologizing for, something that you didn't do or had no hand in is not really something a Stoic should do. It's not really something anybody should do, but I mean, that's beside the point. So the thing that I'm going to touch on is something that you actually did. You have wronged somebody. You have made somebody upset by your actions or your inaction, and you are looking to find some redemption from that person. So it's something I spoke in brief before, but I want to cover it a little bit more in detail. So how do Stoics offer apologies or apologize? So one of the main things that we need to keep in mind is a Stoic, like I said before, is not going to apologize for something they didn't do. They're not going to apologize for something that they had no control over. So if someone hit you in a car accident and you had no way of avoiding it, obviously that's not something you could control. If a lightning strikes your neighbor's building, you shouldn't really apologize for these kind of things. I mean, even to show sympathy, it doesn't really make any sense. So, and these are really difficult things because we apologize for things that we can't control all the time, almost as just a general way of showing empathy. And we really shouldn't. It doesn't really make any sense. I wish there was another word that we could use to describe how we empathize with them, but we don't really accept any kind of blame or responsibility for said actions. It's more of like a linguistic burden that we place on ourselves, and it doesn't really make any sense. So I don't really know what we should say just to empathize with people when bad things happen, but I think one of the best things that we could do is maybe offer help if we can help, or if we could be there for them and show support, and just that's a much better way than just saying sorry. It's unfortunately saying sorry doesn't really offer any kind of comfort to many people. I think maybe in verbal disputes it may, but unfortunately it just doesn't really do much. And so we need to go a little bit further as a Stoic. We need to look at justice. So let's talk about justice a little bit. So justice is the state in which things should be. It's an ideal setting, and it's assuming the person is good and they're doing good things. And when injustice happens, it's when they are stopped from doing good things and bad things happen to them. So we need to, when we cause injustice, when we do something to stop somebody's virtuous behavior, or just behavior in general, we need to go further, and we need to weigh it based upon the severity of what we did. So if we insulted somebody, it's one of those situations where an apology might be appropriate, but you may need to go further than that. You may need to comfort that person. You may need to offer some sort of assurance that such a thing is not in your behavior. And as a result, you may have to avoid insulting that person. Or, a good Stoic should probably avoid insulting anyways, but you should offer some sort of assurances that that is not the kind of person that you are. So if we're talking about more severe actions, like you have disrespected somebody you care about or somebody you don't care about, by not offering to help, that we have avoided using our courage to stop injustice. So what I'm trying to say is, we saw something happen that we could have stopped and we didn't. We saw somebody on the side of the road having trouble changing the tire. Let's say that person knows us and they saw we didn't help them, and then they get upset with us. They should be upset with us, especially if it was something we could have done to help. That is something in our control. So an apology may be kind of weak in that situation. Maybe you need to be more aware in the future of what you should do in that situation. You see somebody who needs help on the side of the road, you should probably help them if you're capable. If you see somebody who needs help, the unfortunate situation of when somebody knows you and they can call you out on it, it should be looked at as a blessing. Somebody has given you a gift and you should acknowledge it. We all need to be diligent in what we're doing. And so not helping somebody in that situation should prod us to start being more active helping, and to be more aware of the person that we've caused injustice by our inaction. And that may involve going out of our way to help that person, and that may involve doing something to right that wrong. And it's not really up to us on whether they feel like the debt has been paid. So it may take a while for us to really win that person back and have the same relationship, but we should do whatever we can to make that right. And that's just a few thoughts on that. I really would like this to be a wider discussion, and we could do that by leaving some comments. I'd really like it if we could get 10 likes on this video. And I really like a little bit more involvement, maybe in the comments, the like section, and maybe just have more vivid discussions on Twitter about these topics, because they are very difficult topics and they're things that we experience all the time. And I by no means is an authority on this topic, and I am trying to be better, but that's something that no one really is that they are not perfect. They are not the sage that we all aim to be. So I hope everybody has a great day, and please remember to like and subscribe. The New Stoics is trying to be an organization, and we can only do that with support from subscribers and our followers on Twitter. So please consider liking and subscribing and telling your friends. Thank you very much.